Right, hello lads and lasses, and welcome back to Boys Down Under, where today I am absolutely buzzing because I'm still buzzing from that win this morning. It was an absolute gutsy win, but it was a massive one nonetheless, and one we certainly have to react to. Before we get into the video though, please remember to like the video and subscribe to the channel. It helps support the channel heaps, but without further ado, let's get into it. So, we picked up some injuries along the way, which we'll touch on later, but it was a deserved 3 points. I don't care what anyone says. I honestly believe we deserve those 3 points because, and we'll get onto that later, but look, Celtic, we came out of the blocks, and we came out of the blocks, I think, just as everyone expected to. We were pressing hard, constantly, straight off kickoff, straight away pressing. Kyogo sprinting up to the CDM. And we were so close to being rewarded after 10 minutes when it was a poor play out from the Hearts defence. Jamesy Forrest, he hit the post. Gordon dropped the ball from a save. He should have absolutely cleaned that up. But he dropped it, he didn't have control of it, and Forrest almost swooped in to get a goal. But unfortunately, Gordon got enough on it to deflect it to the post. 12 minutes so later, Celtic come back again. This time through Callum McGregor off the edge of the box from a corner. He rifles it in, it takes a deflection, and it looks to just be sneaking in until Craig Gordon, former Celtic man, he gets fingertips to it, and it goes out for another corner. And it was a really great save from Gordon, I have to say, and it stopped Hearts from going 1-0 down that early, but he couldn't stop the next one, and Hearts were under a lot of pressure, and Celtic found the breakthrough that we needed, and that who else? Literally, who else but Kyogo to open up the scoring for Celtic? Literally, his movement for that goal left the defense in absolute left the Hearts defense in absolute shambles, and it wasn't offside. I don't care what anyone says. I don't care what photoshopped image you show me. It was not an offside goal. He was 100% onside, and it was a deserved fair goal for Celtic. Look, he latches on. Tony Ralston, I have to give credit to him as well. Very classy ball in the middle. And Celtic were 1-0 up. And I was still at my house at this point watching it before I had left for school. And I was absolutely buzzing at like 7 a.m. this morning. It was absolutely limbs in the McGovern household from me. But then we have Tony Ralston go down. Not good at all. But he was instantly ruled out, which allowed for Josip Juranovic to move to his natural right back spot, and we had to bring on Adam Montgomery for the left back spot. Obviously a very early change, and a very early change Andrew would rather have not have made. But I have to say, Juranovic did look extremely good in that right back spot. He looked a lot more natural than he has done in the left back spot. But, the game continued on till half time. I got a bit bored waiting for the second half, but then, 15 minutes later, was no longer bored, and the action returned, and Celtic returned with intensity. And I think that's a very positive thing to take out of this match. We ended the first half with intensity. We came out into the second half with that same intensity, and it just shows consistency. It shows an improvement of consistency from the Aberdeen game, where we ended the first half lackluster, but started the second half off very good. But then, we kept making chances. Just over 50 minutes had gone. There was a really good moment where Celtic were stuck in the back corner, and Monty plays it out to Turnbull. Turnbull, he's looking just to receive the ball. I think he's going to take a touch. Roulettes it behind his back to Jota, who Ronaldo chops it back to Turnbull, who plays Rogic, who effortlessly just gets past the Aberdeen pressing man. And we didn't score from it, but it was an absolute beautiful display of one-touch football. And you know what? It's prime Barcelona tiki-taka, if you ask me, but it's not, because we aren't prime Barcelona. It's prime Celtic and ball. We're going to keep that going for the rest of the season. Prime Celtic and ball. Now, look, 5 minutes later, Hearts have a great opportunity. I think this is starting to be the turning point in the match where Hearts, they got a lot of life. Literally, I didn't expect it to happen, but they got a lot of life and energy and intensity for the final, 30 minutes or so. What was it? It was the corner. The corner where Hearts player put it in, Mackay, I think it was. And then, I don't know how, but the Hearts defender who got onto the end of it, he had Kyogo-esque movement in the corner. He wasn't even in touching distance of any Celtic player. And he has a free header to go into the back of the net to equalise the game for Hearts away from home. glances it off past the far post. I don't know how he misses from there. I guess we'll never know how he missed from there, but it was a poor header and it was an absolute blessing for Celtic. We were counting our lucky stars at that moment. But, you know, Hearts continued up this pressure. Who were their subs? Mackay Stevens and Liam Boyce. They absolutely changed the game, bringing these two players on. Celtic were getting opened up in defense. We were in shambles. There was this 6 or 7 touches. It was when Callum McGregor eventually diverted the ball away for a corner, but Hearts had 6 or 7 touches in Celtic's box before they got a shot away. Now, it's credit to Celtic's scramble, but it should never have gone to that point. And after that, you know, we had Jota go off, we had Welsh go off, and our defense kind of just lost all its shape at that point. And then we were getting opened up again and again, and there was this incredible moment for Hearts where Gary Mackay-Stevens finds himself one-on-one with Joe Hart. There's like 5 Celtic players like on his heels. He somehow kicks his back leg and trips up, and then Starfelt clears. But it wasn't even that. It wasn't a good enough clearance. And Mackay, not Gary Mackay-Stevens, I think his name's Brad Mackay. I can't remember. It's the Hearts player who kept getting the bottles thrown at him. But he then had literally a keeperless net to put the ball into the back of the net, and he puts it past the far post. Literally, Hearts had like an allergy to the goal today. It was so weird because they had such great opportunities, which they just kept coughing up. And honestly, Robbie Nielsen, he's got nothing to complain about. It's his players' faults they didn't equalise or win the game today. And, you know, the tears of Robbie Nielsen, give it to me in a bottle of water and I will drink it. Because I bloody love it. Now, look, the rest of the game went on. It was nervy. I was really nervous on the train watching. I was in two minds. I was like, oh, Celtic can see this out. But then I also had the mind like, oh, typical Celtic. We're going to concede and we're going to drop more points. But we took home all 3 points and we keep that margin to Rangers at 4 points. Look, my man of the match had to be Carl Starfelt. I thought he was absolutely immense tonight. I think, you know, everyone was talking about the return of Rogic, but I think Carl Starfelt has just been an unsung hero. Well, not an unsung hero. He actually won man of the match, but He a diamond in the rough. I don't know, a needle in the haystack. There's some saying for it, but he surprised me a lot today in how much of an impact he made on the game. And he saved Celtic on certainly a couple of occasions. Now, I think before we get into a couple of things that we have to learn from the match, I think it's only fair if I give you guys an injury update because as we all know, I'm sure we have a couple of injury concerns from the match. So first up, Tony Ralston, most serious injury according to Ange from the first perspective of it. He's looking at an extended period on the sideline, which is absolutely devastating to see for him because he's been so good for Celtic this season. Am I overly worried about that? No, because, you know, we have Juranovic, who is a classy right back. He is the Croatian international right back. So I don't think we're losing out on quality, but it's just disappointing to see for Tony Ralston himself. Now, moving else, Welshie, we haven't got a real update on him. I think it was a lot more precautionary that we're bringing him off. I think maybe I'd say maybe 1 or 2 weeks max on the sideline if worse comes to worse. And then Jota, he apparently told Ange that the injury was not so bad. He didn't feel too bad, so fingers crossed there that he misses maybe 1 game at the minimum, at the most. Because he pulled out his hamstring, it could literally be really bad or it could be really good or it could be somewhere in between. But either way, if he's missing any more than 3 games, I think it's really bad for us. But into what we can learn from the match, and I don't think there's awfully a lot we can actually newly take out of this match, if you guys get what I mean. What I'm trying to say is that what this match showed Celtic and showed us supporters is it's a reinforcement of what we already know. So, for example, we all know the team lacks depth, and we saw it today. It was so clear that we lacked depth, because when Celtic had to make the substitutes today, Mikey Johnston, he just really isn't up to the standard of Jota. Like, not really anyone is, but, you know, when you're bringing off Jota and bringing on Mikey Johnston, the sheer difference in class is absolutely humongous. And Mikey just doesn't have that X factor. He doesn't have that final pass to really make him a true good winger for Celtic. And then you also have young Adam Montgomery. He busts a gut. He has so much energy and life about him, but defensively, he's very, very... I want to say, I wouldn't say he's lax, but he's certainly a bit of a liability because he's always been caught out of position because he wants to go forward. And naturally, for a player who was moved from striker to fullback, that is expected. But look, secondly, I think not secondly, but I think we do, it's obvious to everyone, we need to be reinforcing in January. I know we can't sign a huge amount of players in the January transfer window, but we need to be bringing in players that we can have the availability of for the rest of the season. Secondly, I said it in the match preview, and I'm saying it here again because David Turnbull is so much better when Tom Rogic is playing with him. I thought Turnbull played really well today. I thought he was a very strong performer, but as was Rogic, but neither were standouts, but they both played so well together. And you could see that when they played, they have this nice little link up together, and their play styles complement each other. And it's just, you can see that when, you've got Rogic who's taking on the opposition, whereas a player like Turnbull prefers to be in space. So Rogic creates that space and just hands it off to Turnbull. It's a very nice working combo, and I think it's great to see them both in the same team because we've been missing it. We've been missing it a lot. Now, look, the third and final thing is that playing against Hearts was always going to be one of the tougher games this season. Hearts really have set themselves above the rest of the league in terms of quality, and I think taking 3 points today was absolutely huge. Not just in the fact that it's against Hearts, but another Glasgow team couldn't take 3 points against Hearts at home. So that's something to mull over. But I think there's still such a long road to go in this season, but this game could be so defining, especially going into this month of fixture congestion. 3 points today could really set the bar for the rest of the season, and I think it was crucial we got all three today because we need to be getting 3 points, not only just against the easier teams, but against the harder teams, because those are the games where Celtic are going to drop points, where Rangers are going to drop points. So, very crucial 3 points. I think one of the most crucial 3 points we could have acquired this season, but that is all from me. So, leave in the comments below who your man of the match was. I put that poll out, or you can go vote on that. That one has Cole Starfelt winning by a mile. Kyogo's in second, but remember to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and until next time, hail, hail.